Carl, talk about the race out there tonight. Certainly a lot of give and take, back and forth. You came in third. You come out of here halfway now. You're the points leader.
Yeah, that's huge for us. We've had this one circled on the schedule as one that our whole Aflac team was nervous about. And we qualified well. We weren't that fast at the beginning of the race, and Bob did a really good job dialing it in. The car and the track kind of came to us. So just overall a really good night for Roush Fenway. It's great to see Matt get a win. Those guys, I guess it's great as a teammate. It's not great because now he's only 7 points behind us in the chase. But just a good race, a lot better finish than I thought we were going to have. So I'm happy with it.
Joining him now also is our second-place finisher in tonight's race. It's Kyle Busch. He drives the number 18 M&M's Toyota. And Kyle now moves up to fourth in points. He's 18 out of the lead. Kyle, talk about your race out here this evening.
Well, it was a good race for us. Certainly we started pretty deep in the field and made our way up through there slowly and steadily. Just real tough to pass and make up ground. You could be 2/10 faster than the guy in front of you. You run him down, catch him, and slow down and just get stuck. So you had to be creative. You had to work your way up and work your way past guys. But I don't think we made a change to the car all night. We just kept running with it and just kept letting the race play out and let it do what it was supposed to do. And lo and behold, we thought we were going to win one, and then you get down to all these late restarts and give it away. So finish second.
Okay, we'll take questions now. I think we've got several. We'll go here to Jenna, then we'll go to Viv. Jenna, then Viv.
Jenna Fryer, AP. Carl, we saw you talking to Kyle after the race, and we heard your comments on TV. And then Kyle shed a little bit more insight into it. And I asked this question with all due respect. Shouldn't the guys racing for second and third be racing each other hard? Because Kyle's explanation seemed to be that you were unhappy with the way he raced you. And
we should definitely be racing each other hard. It's just that there's a difference between racing hard and then just cutting across the guy's nose. And what I told Kyle is I just wondered why coming off of turn 2 when I got underneath him that he drove down instead of going up to the wall like we'd normally do. And I just let him know that next time that happens, I'll just stay where I'm at and he can drive across my hood and wreck himself. I mean, it just surprised me. Now, he told me that he didn't mean to do it, and so, I got to believe that. And but, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about it. It's racing, and we didn't wreck, and we're going to race hard like that. And, that's just how I saw it.
Viv?
Viv Bernstein, New York Times. For Carl, what was your reaction when you saw Jimmy or heard Jimmy had wrecked, and what does that mean for all of you in the chase now?
Well, it can happen to any of us. So, obviously, the more points we can get on the guys in the chase, the better. But it's obvious that could happen to anyone. So, he could go on a tear and be leading the points in 3 or 4 weeks, and that could happen too. So I don't ever count them out.
Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com. Kyle, can you speak of the balance between the frustration of not winning against actually getting a good finish and being in the best position you've been at this point in the chase each time you've been in it?
We've kind of set out that we need to start finishing where we run during the race, and we haven't done that maybe but Loudon. And for tonight, we certainly ran really, really well. We ran strong. We drove up through the field, and we got in position to win the race and was leading much of the majority of the end there, and then just got out-drove by Kenseth there on a restart. He just flat-out drove right past me like I was standing still. So just the frustration is again, we didn't finish where we wanted to, which could have been a win, could have been a real highlight. The next frustration is we have yet to win a chase race, and I'm sure I'll be hearing about that for the next 4 years if I continue that. But we'll keep working on it and go into next week at Talladega and see if we can't get one there.
Let's go up to the press box. Go ahead. Questions.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News for Kyle. Kyle, could you describe the engine issue that led to the change? TV seemed to say that it was not a failure, but it's some sort of maintenance issue that caused the problem.
I can't elaborate. I don't know what it was. I heard something in the valve train, rocker arm stud or something. That's all.
Any other questions in the press box?
Kerry, we're clear for now.
Let's come back downstairs. Anything else for Carl or Kyle? David, raise your hand. We'll go to David, we'll go to Jenna, and then we'll go to Dave. Go ahead.
David Newton, ESPN.com. Can you both kind of comment on Matt? I mean, everybody talks about you guys possibly winning the title, but Matt seems to be the one always overlooked, and he's like he came out of nowhere tonight and won it. Is he a real threat for this thing?
He's the only one of the three of us that's got a championship, so I mean he's doing really well. And that car was really fast, and he drove it really well. I mean, I spent a little time behind him. He was wheeling it, so I don't think you can count him out at all.
You can never count Matt out, and it seems like those Wisconsin guys are awfully quiet most of the time. So maybe that's just a part of it. They'll squeak it out there at the end and leave you in the dust.
It's all the cheese they eat.
Let's go to Jenna, and then back here to Dave Rodman. Go ahead.
Jenna Fryer, AP. Kyle, I know that the chase hasn't started the way that you'd like to, but in a sense, do you feel like you've gotten the worst of your tracks behind you, and you guys have a good stretch coming ahead to look forward to?
It's not necessarily the way we look at it. I feel like certainly we have. I mean, we were running top 5 at Chicago, ran out of fuel. Loudon was certainly not our best track, and then Dover was a pretty good track for us. We were running 3rd. We were just way too loose at the end. Finished 6th, not bad. And then Kansas, we ran 4th, 5th all day. Just got caught up in the wrong lane on some restarts at the end and faded. So, we had some decent runs going, just weren't able to capitalize on those runs and finish where we wanted to. So, with the weeks remaining, we just can only take it one by one and go into next week and put our best foot forward, put our best car on the racetrack, and try to win Talladega, and then go from there and go to Martinsville, where we're getting better every time we show up. So, there's certainly some positive tracks that are coming up that we look forward to.
Let's go to Dave, and then we'll come up here to Jim. Go ahead, Dave.
Carl, was there any key adjustment you made to the car to achieve the finish that you did tonight at the racetrack that's not been your best? And how was your car at the start of the race this week compared to how it was last week?
The car was a lot better this week than it was last week, but we still were off a little bit. We weren't as fast as Kyle or Matt, and we've got to go back and look at it. I mean, Greg was really fast. Trevor was screaming fast at one point in the race. He was really good. I don't know what happened to him, but I thought he was going to be the guy to beat. So we'll just go back and look at it and figure out what we're missing. It might be something I'm doing driving that's not correct here, and there might be some setup stuff, but we're slowly working on it. I feel better after this run. This is the All-Star race, Coke 600 in this race. We're all decent for us, so that's 3 in a row. That's the best we've ever been here.
Go ahead, Jim.
Jim Otter, Charlotte Observer for Carl. It probably shouldn't be a surprise that you're now going to lead the points 2 weeks in a row here in the chase, considering how you've run all season. But kind of the way people looked at Jimmy Johnson, having not won as many times as opportunities you've had, maybe it is a little surprising. I was just wondering, how do you look at it with 5 races to go? Is it where you expect it to be? Does it matter that there haven't been as many wins as there were?
No, the wins don't. They matter. Obviously, it's great to win, but our goal is to win the championship. We've won 9 races in a season and not won the championship, and I'd definitely trade that for a 0-win or a 1-win season with the championship. So, our goal is to win this championship. We're leading the points now, which doesn't really amount to much with 5 races left, but it is we're on track. We're doing well. So there are some tough races coming up for us. Talladega is not my best track. Martinsville is not my best track, but after those, I feel pretty good.
Any further questions? Right here.
Carl, this is the latest in the season you've ever been the points leader. At what point do you have to start thinking about that, racing with that in mind? Does it change your style? Are you aggressive, or do you race conservatively to hold it? You know what I mean?
Well, I was probably I don't know. I think right now you have to still get everything you can. I raced really hard tonight, not quite as hard as you, but
I'm in the catbird seat.
I'm racing as hard as I can, trying to get every point I can. That's how we've raced all season. It hasn't worked out for some wins, but that's mostly been strategy and stuff like that. I feel like, I've I've found kind of a balance where I've wrecked enough, made enough stupid decisions early on that I'm trying to be better at not giving them away. So, just keep doing what we've been doing, and if it works out, it works out.
Let's go to the front row. Raise your hand, Mike.
But part of your question, I don't think this season's not like others. I think that it's going to come down literally to the last few laps at Homestead. I mean, if you watch what happened tonight, anything can happen. It can turn quickly. So
We'll go Mike, then Jay. Go ahead.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. For Kyle, I know obviously you'd like to start up front and race up front all night, but did you at least have a little bit of fun starting at the back and getting to pass that many cars that early on?
Well, there was a point in which leader was going into 1 and I was coming off a 2. So, that kind of leaves you a little bit worrisome. But, you got to let it play out. Certainly there's going to be some cautions in there that, will allow the field to bunch back up and everything like that. So, it's always fun, I guess, when you can start back there and run well. There's obviously the big chance in getting caught up in something early. There was a couple cars that came off turn 4 within the first 10 laps of the race, plumb sideways. I don't know how they didn't wreck. And I was checking up, kind of seeing what was going to happen and whether they were going to go shooting through the grass or keep it straight. So, that always keeps you on your toes, always keeps you a little nervous. And, even the more you get up towards the front sometimes, there was a few moments that got a little close out there. But overall, that's just a product of racing.
Go ahead, Jay.
Jay Pennell with SB Nation. It seemed like almost all night long drivers were complaining about how hard it was to pass. Now, obviously, Kyle, you were able to go up there and pass a lot of cars tonight. But, when the leader's struggling to pass slower cars or lap cars, is it just too much arrow push? Is it time to kind of relax the rules a little bit and let the crew chiefs and the engineers kind of work on these cars and figure out a way for them to pass a little bit better and put on a good show?
It'd be fine with me if they took the spoilers off and the splitters off and we didn't have any downforce. The cars are so close that the difference between them is smaller than the difference when you're following somebody. So NASCAR's done a really, really good job of making sure that the rules are close and we're all about the same speed. But then when you're going that fast and relying on downforce, it makes it really tough. So this track is probably one of the toughest ones to pass on. But it's just overall tough almost everywhere we go.
Go ahead over here, David.
Kyle, David Scott, Charlotte Observer. Kyle, do you agree with Carl's assessment of what happened on turn 2? And what was your version of it?
Yeah, certainly it's tight racing, and Carl got a good run through the turn and got up to my left rear quarter panel, and typically that gets you a little loose. And my car got loose and it started moving out a little bit, and I just held the wheel straight, and it was essentially steering almost downhill. It didn't get sideways, like really loose that I about wrecked. It just started steering and kind of freewheeling, so I just let it go. I ran him a little tight. Essentially, it made me run him a little tight off turn 2, and then I just hugged on his door down the backstretch to kind of side draft him to keep him alongside of me to give me another chance at redeeming myself through 3 and 4 and getting back by him, and it worked out. So there was no malicious intent involved to cause anything or to hurt his chances at finishing second or anything. So it's just a product of what we had at the end, going for everything we could and trying to come home second.
Anything else? Carl, Kyle, thank you so much, and good luck at Talladega.
Thanks a lot, guys.